Thursday morning. I have a few things lined up today that I'm pretty excited about. I yeah, just looking forward to the day. Um, as far as game design, I need to spend time on South Shore Vibes. It's kind of cool that there's so much flexibility here with design. Like I have um, a pretty good number of designs that I could be working on, so it's kind of fun to jump around depending on what I feel is urgent or what catches my what draws my interest. So it's a nice, flexible sort of situation. It'd be nice to have some deadlines. It'd be nice to have some, some interest in the project so that I knew what I should be working on, that kind of thing. And when we start rolling with Adra, I think there will be some urgency there. So that should be kind of cool. Um, yeah, but I wanted to share this update. I actually forgot. I think it was last stream. Or maybe it was two. I don't know. Sometime this week, I was thinking about just games, the value of games, and what games do. Yes, I think it was 2 days ago. Um, but as part of that, I introduced or I reflected on um, this pattern of hosting Monday nights that I've become accustomed to. And you could see that this little poster, this little flyer says celebrate 3 years of Mondays, potluck and games, Monday, August 11th. So if you live here on Oahu and you're available from sometime in the window of 6 to 10 p.m. next Monday at 2728 Poly Highway, you're welcome to join us. This marks 3 years of Mondays. And I hope that this kind of highlights or kind of deepens your understanding of what I see of the value of what we're doing. So I've been doing I'm going to do some this is nothing like I'm a big deal. This is nothing like wow, I'm amazing. It's not like that at all. This is just like reflecting on how this is the first time I've ever had such a commitment, invested so much time into any one enterprise. I believe probably even more than music. I mean, because of the consistency. No, that can't be true. I've done a lot of music for a long time, but choosing to do something, to run something, to host something, 3 years running is the longest I've ever invested in something like this. So, and like I said in my previous stream, it doesn't feel like a burden at all. Like I look forward. Monday competes for my favorite day of the week because of the pattern, because of the routine, because of the community. So what it looks like is sometime Monday afternoon. There was a time when I was when I'd leave my apartment around 3:30. Stop into Armchair. I'd see Phil. I'd see some other fun people. Dave, this Netrunner fanatic. Just chat with people, catch up with people. And then I'd stop in over at Costco. There were times when I started seeing friends on occasion. Like almost like actually there was a time when I saw my buddy Randall, I think 3 Mondays in a row. And it started to feel like, whoa, this actually could become a thing because this is your habit, this is my habit. Nice to see you, Randall. Like it was that kind of thing. And then, anyway, stop in at Costco, pick up a couple of snacks, do some shopping for myself, maybe refuel or something like that. And by 4:45 or 5, I head over to the conference office. That's what the Poly Highway address is. It's the SDA headquarters for Hawaii, the Hawaii conference. And they've given us this space and they've given us some support for snacks for almost 3 years, which is a huge thing. Like it's a pretty big investment, to be honest. And that's because, they could use that space however they like. I don't spend a lot of money, but I spend money and it adds up over time. Like every now and then I'll turn in receipts. I'll say, "Ooh, that's several $100s for a few months." And anyway, so they've been very gracious in hosting us for free over the conference office. More than that, that's where the vast majority at this point of my games are. Usually I would store them at my apartment, but I transported a bunch of boxes over there to kind of line up to sell at some point. Anyway, so they've allowed me to fill out one of in the storage area. Just I basically took over a section in there. I have a big shelving unit on the wall. It's just packed with games. I probably have 250 games in there. So this is our library for Monday nights, and also the Monday and also the retreats. So anyway, I'm head over to the conference office. We're on 5. Do my little nesting ritual in there. Rearrange things. Maybe plan a game. Read through a rule book a little bit. And then often I'll just relax and anticipate the evening. I'll sit down on the couch. There's AC blowing on me. It's comfortable. I'm just like at peace. Looking forward to when Jeremy like strolls in along the windows. And anyway, so then we have our time of spiritual conversation and prayer. This is something that was his idea. I think we started doing it. Was it this year? I think it was this year. Wait. That seems right. It seems... No, I don't remember if he's been here longer than that. Anyway, it could have started this January, but that seems a little too recent. No, let's just say we've been doing it for about 8 months. We have a little Bible study. That makes sense. And then around 6:15, you'll see somebody like Tyler wander in, have his dinner. Then other people just kind of, it's very unpredictable who's coming, when they're coming, but they come. And there's only been one Monday in all of our Mondays where it was just me and one other person. That was after a convention. I think it was the first one I volunteered for, so that was 2 years ago. And a lot of the people who'd been coming, they volunteered at the con, and so it makes sense to me that they would have wanted some rest. Anyway, so these characters start coming in, and I guess on a little further on that thought, I never know how many people are coming, right? So it could be that we have 6 or 7. That's very rare. Usually we're around 10. There could be something like a table. It's usually there's often like a 2 or 3 table night. So I say often on average it's like 12 to 20 people. You just never know who's on island, who's feeling social energy. You just never know. But we're always there. And the thing is, I used to be able to say we're every Monday. Well, we skipped one Monday because of the threat of bad weather. It was going to be some wild rainstorm. The other time recently, and this was a turning point I felt. It's not super significant, but it was the first time that something happened. So when I leave, I need to find somebody related to the conference, so somebody who has access to that building. I have a key. They've given me a key. Then I can pass that key around a little bit, but they need to be somebody who's connected to the conference. So, it could be I've had the interns that come through every year. I've had the interns open up. I've had a couple of pastor friends do it. But it can't just be like one of my church friends. It needs to be somebody who's like hired by the conference. And this was the first time, this last time. I was in China. It was, I think, week 4. So it was the 4th Monday that I had to find, somebody to fill in. And I don't like doing that. The people that I find are really gracious people. They kind of put up with it. But I would rather be there. I don't want to put it on them. I don't want to, like I said, for me, it's not a burden at all. For other people, it's like this. Yeah, they had other plans, or now do they feel a little pressure to like actually host and greet people at the door and stuff like that? I don't know. But anyway, we had to cancel because I just couldn't find anybody. This was the very first time. It's summer. It's a weird thing. You know, there were different types of meetings going on. People are traveling. So this was my first time to cancel because I couldn't find that person to support. So that was disappointing. But I mean, that's not what's important. What's important is that we've had over 3 years people who found a home with us on Mondays, and people come and go. Some they thought, oh, maybe I would, I don't super get along with that person, or these games are not really my style, or well, like we get a lot of turnover, and it's totally fine. Or we get people who are seasonal, essentially. You know, we have a puzzle set up most of the time. Some folks come just to do a little puzzling, and so we'll see them a little bit, but they're not like the hardcore regulars. They're not the gamers so much. So anyway, in that time, in this 3 years, I think we've seen some really cool things happen. For instance, the retreats, the beating heart of the retreats, I think, is related to Mondays, and my relationship with people who come regularly. Also, the relationships I've built as now an organizer in the community in general, that allowed us to host these retreats. That the next one's coming up in October. So it's this consistency, this Monday, because I'm often the new guy. This is my first time living somewhere for more than 2 years. I've been here 5.5 years. This is a new record for me. I mean, since elementary school, since high school, I guess. So that would have been 4 years in high school. So this is the longest I've ever lived anywhere since high school, and it's getting close to being the longest I've lived anywhere. So I'm often the new guy, and it takes a while to be incorporated into the community, and I've really felt very welcomed here. Like, I don't know why, but people show up often. Like even this last event we had on Saturday morning, we had exactly the right amount of help. It was just people, oh sure, I'll come help set up, or a couple guys showed up, helped out, and then helped me tear down. Like, that's so cool. Like, there's just a great community. Anyway, I want to do a couple of fun little calculations. That's where I was headed. So I figure, let me say that the average amount of time I spend on a Monday prepping and hosting and cleaning up is, if I count, and I do, this is a tricky one, but I do count stopping in an Armchair and going to Costco. But because it's a time commitment, right? I choose to do it, but it is something I could spend my time otherwise. I want to say, kind of conservatively, let's just say 4 to 10. It's actually probably more than that on average. So let's say 4 to 10 is my weekly commitment on Mondays. And let's say I make 50, let's say 48 Mondays out of the year, something like that. So 48 times 6, it's 288. And then times 3. So 864 hours. Actually, this could be an interesting phone call. Give me 1 second. Hey, doing good. I'm actually heading over to the office pretty soon. Well, I mean, in the early afternoon. Yeah, I love it. It's been working out well. I really enjoyed my space. Yeah, like I said, I'll have you over at some point. We'll have some food or something. Right, right. So I appreciate the nudge you gave me last December. looking at my calendar real quick. I saw that. Saw that. Yeah, no idea. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So what's the Yeah, good. I don't have anything on my calendar. I'm happy to participate. You can just, whenever you're ready, you just kind of send me a description of what you'd like to do. Okay. Uh, okay. Sure. Okay. Very nice. Okay. Yeah. Yield. Yield to the what plane? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's unfortunate that yield is such a weird word. I mean, fair, but yeah, I'm sure we'll find some songs that align with the idea. Okay. I do like, if you can kind of give me a kind of a time frame, like how many, like you said, you listed off the different worship times, um, and then are we talking like 15 minutes of music, a song before and after, like it's that kind of stuff. You send me those details, that all. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. That should be good. All right. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye. Okay. Yeah, okay. Little interruptions like that, no big deal. I just talked with the youth director for the conference. That's Ivan, and they're putting on some production in October. So, um, I just never know with those phone calls what it's going to be all about. So, anyway, I was considering Monday nights. I was saying for me, it's been between 800 and 1,000 hours because often it's actually longer that we'll be doing games and hanging out. But anyway, that's like a pretty yeah that's been a pretty serious commitment for me. Um, and what can I say? Has there been a benefit for me? I absolutely think so. It's not financial, certainly not financial. Although I think um, it's been good practice for me to kind of learn to relax, to kind of I've made fair like plenty mistakes as well, fair number of mistakes in hosting, in checking in with people. I've sometimes people will come and then they'll not come and I'll check in on them, and I think I've created some pressure. So like just learning to accept that Monday nights are not for everybody. That's taken time. I certainly confess that's taken time. Um, because everybody should have energy and interest on a Monday night for games. Anyway, it's been good. It's been a good exercise for me. And with the retreats, I mean, spinning off into actually having weekends where we're hosting 50 to 70 people. Uh, for me, that's exciting. That's a really cool thing to be able to do up at the camp. I've appreciated having the relationship with the camp, and so in a way, I feel like it's been a really nice symbiotic relationship. We're not making the camp a lot of money. I don't know what they would be doing on the weekends we're not there, but it's cool that we can support the church, or that with our community I can kind of give back to the church as well. This is our sixth. It's our sixth retreat. I won't, I can't really describe even off the top of my head, but we've made the church some money, which I'm pretty proud of. Should be over $10,000. I mean, after six retreats for sure. That's not a lot, but it's not nothing, and so it's a cool thing. I'm pretty proud of and excited about. And all of that is anchored in Monday nights in the community we've built up around Mondays. So it's just been really special to me. Anyway, that's 3 years coming up. It's wild. It's pretty hard to believe. I did want to get to. Yeah, I think I want to jump right in here to South Shore Vibes with the remaining time. But what exactly to do? I think these are copies of each other. I was illustrating some problems I was dealing with. So I can just get rid of this. I'm gonna. Oh, this is a little aside. So I'm still making daily progress on the idea of selling on Amazon and Walmart. So I had Gemini run numbers for me, estimating margin, and I cannot imagine this is correct. But if it is right in what the fees it's including, and I'll have to double check all of this, but yeah, with tariffs, shipping, would they want me to do this in a? They want me to do this in Hawaii-based prep center, that kind of stuff. So I didn't actually read through this. What I did was jump down to the bottom where it talked about margin, and it says it's possible that I have a 36% margin. I find that hard to believe. In other words, so let's say we sell for $9.99. So what is 0.36 times $9.99? That's $3.60. So $3.60 per unit. So 3.6 times 5,000, 18,000. I find that very, very hard to believe. But I don't. Oh, interesting. This was Amazon. Amazon referral fee. I don't know what that is. Prep center fee, inbound shipping, tariffs and duties. Like the tariffs are a little higher than that. But I got good news actually, and that is that the sets that my friend Judy told me about, dice set in solid color, are 70 cents to $1 per set, packed in clear plastic bags. So they come already packed. So that's good news. I don't think we need the bagging. So I could run this again. Do another margin estimate for me with these updates. Cost per set in a plastic bag, no need to repack, is, let me just say, because it's let me just say 80 cents. So I won't be ultra optimistic and take the 70 cents estimate. We'll try 80 cents, just see how that goes. Please estimate the margin for both Amazon and Walmart.com. Place the details in a spreadsheet. Let's just do it this way. Make a canvas. Okay, I swear, I promise, I'm gonna get to South Shore Vibes. Okay, appreciate some more support here on Twitch. That's pretty surprising. $9.99 is very high for dice. I do want to say that. I think $9.99 is probably inappropriate. Assumed competitive market price. I don't know. Some of the sets are up there, but I don't think we need to label. I think we can skip the prep center, honestly. The fulfillment fee for Walmart is more expensive. See, my guess is, my feeling is that there are already dice sets that are selling for this price. Definitely. Like some get marked down to below this. So I think this is not super trustworthy as an evaluation. There might be ways to save on the margin or on the process. Like here, do we need a prep center fee? I don't think so. I think they can get sent directly to Amazon. I don't know what this is. I don't know what the referral fee is. This is the first time I've seen that. And I am very surprised that Walmart is taking out that much. I would think Walmart wants to be more competitive, except who cares? I don't even think they really need an online presence. Right? Why would they? They can just dominate small businesses from the ground. Anyway, yeah, I cannot. There's just no way. But at least this feels like a more concrete. Like this cost feels close per unit. That's pretty nuts. I mean, so the difference would be if I get them shipped here somewhere, I store them here on the island and then ship from here. That sounds horrible. Because shipping is going to be more than this. Shipping is going to be way more than these costs by itself. So fulfillment, I think, definitely makes more sense, shipping to the mainland and then letting those businesses manage shipping. So anyway, that's a light update, touch of an update there. Now I'm going to get back to South Shore vibes with a couple of design goals in mind. First of all, I want to rearrange everything. And why do I have these two? I think this is outdated now. I also know that I need to fix I'm going to do two main things. One is I'm going to clean up the wave page. So I'm just going to like knock off most I'm going to get the wave out of there, out of this one, and I'm going to take everything else. Oh, a victory point track too. I wonder if I want the exhausted dice. Well, stuff for sure that's coming off. I'll start there. I kind of want to leave this on. The skills can come off. This can come off. So these can come down here and sort of tuck in this area, maybe. I guess this also doesn't have to get... Let me try without doing that first. I like more breathing room here anyway. Yeah, I think I'm going to pull exhausted dice off. But that doesn't give me much. That doesn't help me out because the wave is about as wide as it can get anyway, right? So what I can do now is, yeah, I can leave exhausted dice where where they are. I can blow up the skills. Is this right? So I'll group this. I want to centralize. I can increase the size just a little bit, but now I can centralize it. Oh, nailed that. It's in the middle. Okay. So that's good because we have people, you know, sticking their fingers in there, stacking up dice. So having some more space makes sense. You know, I'm just trying not to waste paper. Isn't that true? Okay. So this is pretty easy, right? It's just like just rearranging. So now what do I want really close? I think I want these things, these details. So these are rules on movement. So I want them to be very prominent. I want these also to be prominent. The fact that that's the way to manipulate dice. There's a huge avocado tree, or I should say it's a heavy laden avocado tree outside my window. Somebody's doing some work out there. It's not available to me, which is a little unfortunate. Looks like I don't have any connection errors today, or connection problems. Grateful for that. So far, I know I'm not, I'm not meant to, or my understanding is I'm not supposed to be using my phone to replace my internet, but so far so good. It's been pretty great. Okay, I need to figure out where to get these skills. No, I do kind of like. I do like this up here, actually. Right, because it's really relevant to this sheet. It's relevant to, like, it's the most important thing because it has to do with movement. Like it's the rules for how you're allowed to move. Yeah. Okay. So this lets the skill area grow. This doesn't need to be up here. I like the idea of getting these skills. You know what? This also might as well be up here on the top sheet. Right, because that's what this corner was made for. I think that actually looks nice. You know what, this can also shift. I didn't realize this till just now. But visually it's a little misleading that you kind of think that the center of the wave is here, right here, but it's not. Because the wave is shaped like a wave. And then it moves from right to left. Okay. This should be a little more comfortable. Try not to say, oh, also not wanting to use a lot of ink, right? The more sheets I print, the more ink I use, so trying not to do too much of that. Yeah, the exhausted dice pile got pretty big, so it's actually nice to give it some more space as well. It's funny, these little details, like nudging edges out, trying to find some sort of sense of balance. I do think visually this is much easier to understand. I mean, it just makes sense, right? There's just less information to care about now. And that's great. So now these skills really can, now they can really breathe. But I'm actually going to take out, yeah, I like the idea of, I could actually technically, I wonder why that's ordered that way. I could add more skills, but I kind of don't. I don't think that's a good idea because already being overwhelmed by 2 skills, I think, is a very real possibility, and I don't like when people get overwhelmed. Okay, I knew I needed to change. I knew I needed to change the 8, so I can do this now. Oops. So this is going to become the 8 over there. This can stay the same. So it's just this needs to go away. This was something that became pretty obvious with Seth's observations last time. Let's get rid of that. So now these skills, they take more. There's more going on. Let's get these guys out of here. With everything being a different size, it's not going to look very nice. But this is function over form. Function over fancy. We always got to think that way for prototypes. It does seem like it's easy to get sucked into making things look too nice. That's why I think I mentioned this before, but that's why I absolutely refuse to make physical prototypes for a very long time in the process. Probably because I don't have great tools to make it really efficient. So it doesn't feel good to like realize you have a fundamental problem in a design and then have to like cut 60 cards out again or something like that. That's kind of happening with Sugar Shack. I haven't given up on that game. I'm still excited about that game, but for some reason the summer is the summer of South Shore vibes. Okay, so now we have skills. Right. So I'm going to line them up like this so that they're all kind of centered. Actually, I can make that easy. And it is true they are. I think they're even regularly spaced. Okay, now we can blow them up. Okay, and then these get associated. You can kind of do it like this. What I want to do here is interesting. What just happened? Yep, group. So I'm thinking just to have a nice little detail where this thing is centered. It is perfect. And then just right up here on the line. For some reason that makes sense to me. I want this to be, oops, these need to be grouped. And then I want this centered. And then just move that up on the line. I guess maybe, is it problematic that like these two are kind of maybe a little too close together? I don't know. I think it's okay. So this needs to be grouped. I actually stayed up for the first time in a while, first time past midnight last night. And that's weird to say. I think it'll be easy for me to allow some sleep creep. Let me put it that way. Because it's just so easy for me to stay up. Well, I got home. Oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna group this stuff. And I would actually like these to be aligned to each other in this way. Okay, those are the skills. Now this, I can shift everything up. Cool. So this 8 is more important now. I mean, it's difficult. It's hard to... Should I switch the 4 just to be consistent? Because look, I should. This is stupid, but I'm going to do it. Rearrange. Okay. Like, this literally doesn't matter at all. There's no reason to do this. Except that it feels like continuity. Right? Because they all have these kind of ladder staircase shapes that you can go for. So if you go for any of these, like, depending on how long it is, then interesting. It's fine. Now this stuff, that's not what I meant to do. Is this getting stressed out? This can fit up here. Right. 1 skill per wave. I want to make this a little bigger. I'm going to change how the corners, I'm going to make them not round so much. Okay, now I can give this a little bit of one skill per wave. Earned even if fallen off the wave. Nice. Okay, now this does not need to be here. And this can get huge. Do I need a box? Yeah, I'm not too sure. Feels like it's really dark if I sit back. Is that just the nature of the thing? Maybe. Gain 1 stamina, exhaust dice, reserve personal pool. These are all setup considerations, so that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out where they should go. Like, it feels to me like it's fine. That seemed actually fine over there, kind of stuck off to the side. Because this, again, this is like kind of a setup thing. And I can extend this down to make it feel like this is just sitting down here. And I can increase the size of this again. Does that look centered? Oh. Okay, now I can center these things. Group that, put that in the middle. No, well, at least the center. Drop it down. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So what was the point here? The point was to allow... It's interesting because initially with the wave, it made sense to me that the die should fit exactly on the space and like fill that space. What I didn't really anticipate was how annoying that could be. As in, you're trying to, you're maneuvering around these other players' dice. You might even be dropping them down in the middle of, like in between a couple of players, depending on what they're up to. And then you like my fingers, no chance. There's no chance that's happening. I've got these sausage fingers, right? So anyway, it makes a lot of sense to blow these squares up so that there's some more. Yeah, there's more space to like move things around, or if a stack of dice falls over, it doesn't knock into all the rest of the dice sitting there. The other thing I was gonna do, and I can still because this would be super fast, is that I was going to, I should just probably do that. Did I change? I think I did. I think I did change that. Okay, so these are all going to become a single sheet by themselves. So that means I'm going to group everything, spin it all. I don't think that was good, actually. So I guess ungrouping, grouping changes, if something is transparent, it looks like it affects the transparency of everything else. That is easy for me to forget. Okay, this is going to be pretty good. I can't tell if, is this a problem of, okay, that's about where I want it. Oh, you know what I forgot was the victory point track. I have a fast way of doing a VP track. Probably. Move this down because now it is outdated. I think what's really happening is I need to make a copy so that I don't have to deal with I think Canva is trying to keep up with all these items. I don't know what to call them, but there's hundreds of them at this point. All these little boxes and things. So I can just take some stress off of their servers and my laptop. Yeah, look at how much more comfortable that's going to be. Yeah, that's great. Maybe I should, I don't know. I suppose there's room on this one for victory points. Easily, right? Yeah, like, oh, it's not even just this one necessarily. I think it's this partly because of these images too. I can always come back. This is still the solo sheet. This is an old one, pretty old. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I can leave this. So what we should see is that everything moves a little faster. There's less stuttering, and I believe we have achieved that. So now it's just having to print like 4 of these. It's a shame if I have to cap player count at 4. 5 would be nice, but I think we've seen how much of a problem that is when it comes to people actually maneuvering on the wave. I think if we were really to go with 5 or 6, it's possible that these people should not actually be able to get on the same wave. Huh. Anyway, we made some progress here with South Shore Vibes. Not really too many design decisions. This is all graphic design. I mean, there were no mechanical changes, except that I updated the skill list here, which is right. That's the right move. And then there could be so many skills. This already feels better. What was I gonna do? Oh, VP track. Where should that go? What I'm not looking forward to is putting numbers. Oh, I guess this is where I would just put like 5s, 10s, 15s, that kind of thing. Anyway, that's an hour for me. Thanks so much for joining. That little call in the middle took up a little time, but no big deal. It was really fun thinking through the first 3 years of our Monday nights. Spending some time thinking about margins. I am still very excited about the possibility of getting some more income going off of selling game components, and then glad to make some progress on South Shore Vibes. So anyway, thanks for joining me. That is it for me today. I'll see you soon.